I was 26 years old when it happened. At the time, I lived alone in a small one-bedroom apartment in a quiet neighborhood in Spokane, Washington. I worked as a night shift nurse at a local hospital, which meant I was often coming and going at odd hours. I liked the old but cozy apartment with a little balcony that overlooked the street. It felt safe. I didn't realize how much of a luxury that feeling was until I lost it. It started subtly, like most things do. I began noticing the man across the street. He lived in a house directly facing my building. At first, I thought nothing of it. Spokane isn't a big city, and the neighborhood was full of people who kept to themselves. But over time, I noticed that he was always watching me. It wasn't paranoia. It was very specific. I'd come home around 3:30 a.m. after a shift, and as I pulled into my spot, I'd see him at the window. It was the same window, second floor, middle of the house. The blinds were partially open, just enough for me to see the silhouette of his head. Always standing, always facing my apartment. At first, I assumed maybe he was just up late, a fellow insomniac, but it kept happening. Night after night, always at the same time, always just staring. I mentioned it once, half-jokingly, to my co-worker and friend Julia during lunch break. "Maybe he's just a creep with nothing better to do," she said, sipping her coffee. "Yeah, but it's every night," I replied. I thought about going over and just saying something. "Please don't," she said quickly. "You never know with guys like that. Better safe than sorry." I agreed, mostly because it was easier not to deal with it. I kept my curtains drawn tighter, turned the lights off before undressing, and tried not to look in that direction when I came home. Then things escalated. One night, I came home at around 4 in the morning. It had been a brutal shift. 2 emergency surgeries and a newborn in NICU coded for 10 minutes before we brought him back. I was drained. I parked, grabbed my bag, and trudged up the stairs. As I turned the key in the lock, I felt something strange, like the air around me had shifted. A slight breeze brushed my neck, even though the hallway window was closed. When I entered my apartment, I immediately sensed something was off. Nothing looked out of place, but it felt wrong. It took me a few seconds to realize that the back sliding door, leading to the tiny balcony, was unlocked. I never left it unlocked. I approached it slowly, my heart pounding. My building was 3 stories high. The only way onto the balcony would have been from above or from the fire escape, which was technically blocked off. I locked the door, pulled the blinds tight, and grabbed a knife from the kitchen, just in case. I barely slept that night. The next morning, I called the property manager. They came and checked the locks, but found no signs of forced entry. Maybe I just forgot to lock it? That's what they suggested, and frankly, I wanted to believe them. But deep down, I knew better. Things got worse over the next few weeks. I started receiving texts from an unknown number. They weren't threats exactly, but they made my skin crawl. "That blue shirt looked good on you. I bet you sleep with the window open. You look tired today." They came at random times, sometimes while I was at work, sometimes minutes after I got home. The first time I got one, I checked every room and every corner of my apartment, but nothing happened. No one. Just that growing pit in my stomach. I filed a police report, changed my number, installed new locks, and even got a cheap home security camera for the door. I stopped going out, ordered groceries online, and switched my schedule to the day shift. I moved my bed to the far corner of the room, away from the windows. But whoever it was, they didn't stop. The texts kept coming from different numbers each time. No voice, no name, just observations. Proof that I was still being watched. Then came the worst night of my life. It was a Saturday, mid-December. Snow was starting to fall heavy outside. I was curled up on the couch with hot cocoa, trying to relax. I just started a new Netflix series and was actually beginning to feel okay. Then my phone buzzed. "Don't look out the window." I froze. My blood turned to ice. Then another text. "Just kidding. Go ahead." I didn't want to look. Every instinct told me not to. But slowly, like in a dream, I got up and walked to the window. I pulled the curtain aside. And there he was, standing in the middle of the street, wearing a hoodie, jeans, black gloves, looking directly at me, not moving, not smiling, just staring. My breath caught in my throat. I stumbled backward and grabbed my phone, dialing 911 with shaking fingers. I barely got the words out. "There's someone outside my apartment. He's been stalking me. He's standing in the street, right now." The operator stayed on the line as 2 patrol cars arrived within 10 minutes. When the officers checked the street, he was gone, vanished into the snowy night. But they did find something. Underneath the window to my living room, they found a crumpled piece of paper, weighted down with a small rock. It simply read, "Next time, I'll knock." That was the last straw. I broke my lease the next morning, packed everything I could, and moved in with Julia until I found a new place in a different neighborhood, far away. I changed my number again, got rid of all my social media, and started seeing a therapist to deal with the anxiety. I never saw him again. The police never identified him, but the damage was done. To this day, I still can't sleep unless all the windows are covered. I double-check every lock before bed, and any strange sound in the night sends my heart racing. I miss feeling safe. And sometimes, when I'm walking down the street or getting into my car, I get that old feeling again, that someone's watching, that he's still out there, waiting. Before we dive into the next story, if you're here for the first time, please consider subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell icon so you won't miss any of our upcoming stories. Your support truly encourages us and helps this channel continue to grow. And don't forget to share these stories with your friends and family. Thank you.